My picture. She knows how to get through. She can run through all those people. Saw that? The one that's got all the lines lined up. Look at this. You gotta get both sides. Oh, look all the way down there. This is the one that's got all the lions lined up, yes. Watch your step, honey.
Oui, mais elle m'a dit la deuxième entrée.
Remember they showed this in Moses' picture? Remember they showed all the lions and the lambs? Stop.
Susan!
Thanks, very good. Thanks for things very good. This is very nice, very interesting, very educating. Yeah, we don't know what it is. Hello.
Janice is here and Susan? Where is Susan? She's here, okay. Come closer, Lily. I keep telling and saying ram-headed God, ram-headed God. Since last Monday, since last, since Tuesday. But what's the ram-headed God? island, the two towers connected together. The colonnaded hall with the columns in the shape of God Osiris. There are 8 on that side and 2 here, so there are 10 here, 10 here. And they are representing the king himself in the shape of God Osiris with the group and the flame. Oh, someone is over there. And even on the slabs of the things that we fix it back with some metal supports, you can see it up there. It used to be every single piece in this temple used to be colored. Every single piece used to be colored. We have an altar here to replace the sacred vault. This is the vault. See? Picture of the vault with the rabbits, God, Amun, Ra. Okay? Which is very similar to the vault that we saw in the temple of Et, and it's here again. Or the higher leaf, which is he is burning incense and put an offering table in front of the God. It's exactly the same here too. He is burning incense and an offering table, and he's pouring some water from a vase, looks like the key of life, the Ankh sign, in this place. And the slabs of the limestone are the slabs of all the vultures and astronomical ceiling decorating this. Oh, there's a laser here. See that? Oh, yeah.
What is this shit? Did you see how she came out?
But we found the cartouche of another king called the King of Karnak, one of the kings of the 21st.
I got
Empty. It was empty for a while.
Al entrar en los años, ahora esa sala impresiona tremendamente.
Hay gente que llora al entrar en esto, que recuerda el pasado, que está en los
Okay, come on, smile.
Look at those comments.
All right, everybody here? When this was built by King Seti I, father of Ramses II. about 1320 BC, and it was completed by Ramses II, 1200 surrounding the columns. The columns raised to a height of 22 meters. The open ones, you see the colors in some of them up there, up high. This is the papyrus, the open papyrus capitals, and each side roof was covered, except for that corridor that was open. Okay? So second the first, completed by stones haphazard like this, and then they covered with like a coating out casing, and then a coating of plaster, and they do the column. Sunk relief, and mostly on the columns were sunk relief. I want you to see the graffiti. See? T. See? Baltahlon for 1819, and there's many. Yeah.
Sands?
No, there was some of them archaeologists doing some work in He climbed on some of the rebels, some of the sand. We have some stuff over there. Yalla, let's go this way. Stand to the first.
Look at where they patched the holes at the end.
Look up there and see that proves that there was a second floor here. Yeah, and also here. Look at that. You see the remains of the column. With the cartouches of Ramses II everywhere. A second floor was done, but it's gone. Everybody saw that? Here, I want you to see the colors also here. See the cartouches with the colors, red and blue and yellow.
Yes.
And the upper wall that backward of
Ils sont jamais des textes militaires ni des textes religieux. Ce sont des textes publiés à Nicolas, à son direct de son lettre. Il est le fondateur de la chrétienne dynastie. Les obélisques, c'est un
the
grand
obelisk has some poetry on it.
They do. We call it
A postazione potrebbe scrivere che la Look at this stone. Piled up in one of the...
est détombé lors d'un tremblement de terre depuis en l'an 27 avant Jésus.
Stones and stuff up to about 3/4 of the way up, see the difference in the color? Yeah. He had it all surrounded with a casing, so it goes on.
Mieli go, ubierali go, jedzenie mu przynosili. Na tym polegała opieka kapłanów. Niebieskie światło, tak jak widzimy też, te, które są tam obok.
For Ramses II was the cause of the business. He loved Israel. He also loved him. He did him in many things, like conquering and so on and so forth. And he loved him so much. And his love brings up and he never touched his carpenter with a vulture and kneeling. And also here. So the holy of the house here is granite, and it's unbelievable. You are going to follow me now to go somewhere on the left, but not the first left-hand side. You're going to follow me, and I'll show you.
Ask the question, man. Get around.
واحنا نص ساعه ساعه الا ربع هطلع لها. انا في القرن. على فكره انا بعد
I thought it was on the fourth floor. There was a key in the door, and I thought Joe left the key in the door for me. Because he was in the room. So I
She's the lady from the other American group. She entered my room yesterday at noontime. And then she figured out that this is the wrong room. I thought that she's Sarah, the guide, and she's coming to me. But I just opened my eyes and I found someone I don't know.
Les hiéroglyphes, on le lit de droite à gauche, de gauche à droite, ça dépend du regard des animaux. Si le serpent le regarde de droite à gauche, on lit de droite à gauche. Si le regarde de gauche à
Alle goud gezamenlijk gesmolten. Dit alles onze idee van witte goud nu. En de bericht is zon en de deze groep alles
Machine gun, no?
Oh, I see.
It's a good time for lots of cameras.
Lying here, kneeling on the ground, and Amun-Ra is touching her head. She's receiving the blessing from him. And behind her is the number of 1 million years, just a symbolic thing for having long life to her. She's been repeated. You know, FTI. This is different. See that? Carabiti on the top here? The Statue of Liberty.
Liberty. Just the background, you know? What are you doing?
Hello!
I do it every night, it still doesn't work. Huh?
Di San Cirillo e Metodio della
This is a very interesting and traditional figure. Ramses the Second. Where is Mr. Bull? Are you here?
Yeah.
ما تعاتبنيش لما اكلمك صوت عالي عشان ما اكلمك
الله جدي مأمون هذا قدام. ايوه.
Eigenlijk dacht ik voor zondag of het stond ook niet zo dingen.
You missed my show. You missed my show. No.
Dat is de laatste.
This is like all these lines like this. Wow. It's a shame that it. Oh, I don't know what to do.
Ziet er daar ook uit? Het is ook wel.
They're praying. That's the prayer. See? Here. That's the prayer. Look at this house. This is a nice cute house. Look at that nice house there. Yeah.
One pen.
Yeah.
One pen.
Come on.
One.
How beautiful. What's the difference? Or something? That's the last hour bus there. You know? That's our last bus ride. Look how beautiful. Oh God. They would only see it like that when they were alive. They didn't have that kind of life.
Right.
Here, wait.
Huh? Let's have the loss.
Ce papy de Toutankhamon qui nous a donné tout ce temps en entier.
Golden silver. And restored. I don't know.
Of course, you, a great number of you have been to Paris and saw the obelisk which located at the Concorde Square in Paris. It was right there.
Honey?
Taken from here.
Oh my goodness.
The big
This is the
obelisk.
other one of Ramses II.
One was
The
the
other
one was
obelisk was
fine.
taken at the Concorde Square in Paris was, but the other couple are the second one which was here. This temple is built by Amenhotep III, about 1800 pictures of this island inside the temple, like a sketch.
That whole entrance
Show you the two obelisks written and
two
the flags
sides.
and everything was supposed to be at the original site. There was two standing statues, two seated statues, two standing statues in each side, okay? And two huge colossus at the entrance, and there was two obelisks, and there was vertical grooves keep some of the flags. And the pictures or the scenes on the island, it's all representing or depicting the Battle of Kadesh between Egypt, Ramses II, and the Hittites.
If he just waited, he would have been there just as fast.
Moses!
Links vooraan, boy. Zijn naar links.
Egypt received is the ancient Egyptian name for the Tower
Look at the size. Oh, got it? Look at the size. Oh, look at the inside. Oh.
No, I got it.
Huh? You must be tired. Film the other way. I'll film it. Yeah.
What the things that are supposed to be the earrings? The same tree. So in the way back, yeah, I leave the people inside the boat, and I go and pick up Eileen's stuff, and then but I hope that this is the one because he said to me yes because he wants you maybe to go. But I hope he has that. All right, I want you. Where's Lewis?
Here.
Okay, I want you to have. I want you to have a look up there. See that mosque? This is a Muslim mosque. Yeah, what? I will tell you, you know, this is unusual to see a Muslim mosque here. But that was the mosque back in the 11th century. That was the regular middle of the street during the 11th century. This temple was completely covered, and that was the regular middle of the street. So they built that mosque, on them they are made out of granite. Those three shrines for Amun, his wife Mut, and their son Kun. Let's go. Behind the statue of Ramses II, over there, a very impressive picture or a scene of the facade of the temple at the time of building this temple. Did you follow me, please?
You see that? That must have built because it was supposed to be all buried underneath. Wow. 3 over there.
Og det sjove ting det er, men i den her Abu Fagak, der fejrer man stadigvæk lidt af det her med, I kan huske Rubens Festival, hvor man fragtede statuen i...
You might come closer and see this. This is a tour of Mexico. So this is like a sketch, show you the pylon outside. That's very nice. I should. And this was done, and those are the sons of Ramses II, some of the sons of Ramses II.
Right there.
De to figurer, det er samme person, det er nemlig Nil Gud, som hedder Habib, og Habib med to guder,
Swag.
så det bliver en for øvre del af Nil, og en for neder del ved Nil. Vi kan se, hvordan
This is about, if we can calculate it, 17 meters, so it's going to be... Oh, what? The columns?
Yes.
The columns itself is like 20
den til
meters
venstre, der er
long.
et bord, og op på bordet, der ligger
Jeff's got the right.
Okay. Come closer. Come closer. Tutankhamun, and it's the name of Ramses II on them. Although we believe that this is probably from the time, this and those from the time of Tutankhamun, but we found the cartouches of Ramses II on them. Okay? Tutankhamun was about 1350. Ramses II was 1290 to 1224 BC. This colonnade done by King Amenhotep III, or Amenophis III, the father of King Akhenaten. And he's the one who started to build this temple actually. And there is supposed to be a pylon here, but it's gone. And Ramses II had added that specific.
Members of the fire scout. And behind you can see this
There's a column that took the picture of.
Oh.
The other way.
Well, what?
Sto facile. Tak podzielili. Nie zawsze to odpowiada oczywiście planowaniu rodziny.
All of the columns around this one.
Okay, this is another open court with the columns, with colonnaded hall here, which is, this hall is done by the king who built the temple originally, Amenhotep III or Amenhotep III, father of Akhenaten. The numbers are 24 on this side, 24 on the other side, and 32 on both. I mean 16 here and 16 here. So there are a whole of 32 columns here and a whole of 24 and 24. What is 24 and 24? I mean, out of the 30 goddess Hathor and different gods and goddesses, and they are now displayed at Luxor Museum. That was in 1987, and we just found them by accident. That was right here in this area.
Now I know I really need to, you know. Wow, look at that. That's Roman. You gotta swing around here and get these coins. Oh, watch.
Thank you. Thank you.
Everybody here?
Almost.
Covering the ancient Egyptian seas. This is from the Roman time, and this is Copts, done by the Copts. But you still see them wearing the Roman tunic. Actually, it's not very well seen that much, but all the colors and all the representation here for some people during the Roman time of the Copts is covering the ancient Egyptian seas with this fresco. When this fresco fell off, we've seen the ancient Egyptian seas. So it was covering the ancient Egyptian scenes and it was fell off. You see the two Corinthian capitals?
Nice view.
A lot of people.
Jerry. Whatever you can hold and then
color to show you where it was colored.
Cartouche, you know, like all the ancient Egyptian kings, and you could see it is written Alksndres, Alexander's. He put his name in a cartouche, he dressed up in the Egyptian costume, he's making the offering to the various Egyptian gods, such as god Amun-Men, the god of fertility, and he is being represented again wearing the double crown of Upper and Lower Egypt, making offering to god Amun, the god of the sun. And it's repeated many times for Amun and Amun-Men here and there. So this shrine was built by Akhenaten, the one who built this temple originally, making offering of grapes and fruits and papyrus, ducks and geese, bread and wine, cheese, to the ram-headed god Amun, who's been represented in his boat, in the sacred bar over there. So this is all offering scenes. He also again making offering to Amun and his wife Mutu. So this is about 1390 BC, and that shrine in 332 BC. So it was added.
Keep right, please.
Per coprire la successione dei tempi paleolitici e si vede che è rimasto questo rivestimento qua.
What do you think? Huh? It is something else, right? It is exactly like we saw in the video. Huh? That's a machine. Come on, you chill here now.
There are no more than 5 minutes in any election.
Is that right?
Vedi che le due volano.
Oh God, this is gorgeous. You got this one?
Yeah, but
Dans la cour de Ramsès.
We're gonna stay and then walk back if you
Oh,
want to
you
stay.
are?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna go with her.
Okay.
Bye.
Demorò la musa, ora va grena.
welcome, welcome.
ايه؟ ما هو جاي تاخد حاجاتها وجاي تشوف Up here? Up there, yeah.
Let me see this on poultry farms. Really daylight. Okay.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, have attention please. That's your show start now. Show time.
Keep us standing. That's it? That's it?
May the evening soothe and welcome you, O travelers from Upper Egypt.
You will travel no further because you are come. Here, you are at the beginning of time.
Here was conceived and lived the great week of the creation of the world and the separation of the earth from the waters. You are at the house of the Father.
In this house of the Father, each pharaoh thought of himself as a son and wished to leave his mark upon it.
Each added, superimposed, overdid, outdid, through a span of 20 centuries.
The result is this fabulous labyrinth of facades and passages, esplanades and corridors, perspectives and detours to which only priests and pharaoh had access.
But the Egyptian is at ease in the circumvolutions of the divine. He is at home with the science of the beyond. He has a taste for side exits, secret passages, concealed staircases, the phosphorescent gloom of tombs. The vade-mecums, the guidebooks for the journey which accompanied the mummy, are called Book of the Dead, Book of the Gateways, Book of the Caverns, Book of the Night. They are the only books ever to attempt to produce maps of the other world.
That's nice.
idea.
Come in here, good luck. Here.
And if one of you this evening were to voice the question that you are whispering in your hearts, who art thou, Ammon? The answer would seep from these walls, these lintels, these pedestals, these secret chambers, these piled ruins. For the answer is written everywhere, in 1,000 different hieroglyphics.
I am the father of fathers, the mother of mothers, and the bull of the 7 celestial kine. I open my mouth to speak in the midst of silence. I cause to be that men should have a path on which to tread. I open the eyes of all that they might see. My right eye is the day. My left eye is the night, and the waters of the Nile spurt from my sandals.
Ammon has held this fortress from the 12th dynasty, but with one eclipse, the time of a dissenting pharaoh, the time of a pharaoh who was a poet, the time of Akhenaten, who invented humanism, the time of his love for the all-too-human Nefertiti, whose beauty still haunts us even today.
Ammon, the father of all things, had for wife the goddess Mut, who sat a little below him, wearing a royal headdress of vulture feathers. Near to the father and the mother is the son, Hans, standing rigid as a mummy, with a crescent moon picked out upon his oblong head. They made up the Karnak tribe, the Holy Family, for whom And for 2,000 years, ceaselessly, complex fortifications were built by the hands of men.
Here in this place, I, Seti, built the resting place for the holy barks beside the avenue. It is made up of 3 contiguous sandstone chapels. The chapel of Ammon's bark is in the center. The chapel of Holmes is to the east. The chapel of Mut to the west. I believe this edifice is worthy of Ammon, and worthy long to bear witness to the glory of Seti II.
Men always believe they are playing the last act of their long history. Each pharaoh believed he had completed the city of God, that a new pharaoh came and thrust the glory of the last into the shade.
I, Ramesses III, conceived that more than one resting place was needed for the sacred barks of the Holy Family. So, midway between the sanctuary and the river, I brought into being this edifice, a veritable temple with pylon guarded by colossi, peristyle courtyard, pillared hall, and sanctuary. Henceforth, it shall be here that the 40 tonsured priests in 8 ranks of 5 shall halt, bearing the Ark of God along the way to the landing stage when the time comes for the gods' journey to Luxor, for the festival of Opet upon the high waters. And my temple shall also tell how I conquered the peoples of Asia and Africa.
Yet one day, even the temple of Ramses III was no more than an edifice in a corner of the vast courtyard where we are this evening. The pharaohs came and went. The new year returned in mid-July, with the impassive rising of the waters. And during the 2nd month of flood, there was the beautiful festival of Opet.
Then, as every summer, we would have witnessed the passing by of the 3 barks of the Holy Family, borne aloft on the strong arms of men. The bark of Ammon decorated a brow and hoop with ram's heads.
The bark of Mut, his wife, decorated with female figures wearing necklaces.
And the bark of their son Khons, decorated with 2 falcon heads, surmounted by the crescent moon. For the bark is the symbol of the movement of the world, the pedestal of God. It is the throne of the pharaoh, the instrument of war and of building. The civilization that erected the columns and colossi at Karnak was a river civilization.
It was by bark that the rose-colored granite, the diorite and alabaster were brought here. Each flood bearing tons of raw stone to be shaped and molded on the everlasting work site.
There is something profoundly moving in comparing the tremulous, almost fluid inspiration of the Karnak workmen and the hardness of the stone in which they wish to immortalize the bending of a reed or the drooping wing of a cormorant.
Tutankhamun, the youthful pharaoh who re-established Ammon in all his power and glory after the treachery of my brother,
I have left behind me in this courtyard nothing but this calcite sphinx.
I, Taharqa, a Nubian reigning late in a crumbling dynasty, built this central pavilion, of which little now remains, but a specimen of the papyrus-capped gracious colonnade and an alabaster block that served as an altar for the divine art.
I, a pharaoh whose name is lost, so many contradictions are graven on my pedestal. I left the symbolic image of all the pharaohs. This gigantic statue rising against the western side of the second pylon, clasping to its legs the tiny figure of a beloved queen.
And I, Ramesses II, the grand elder of the Ramessid dynasty, the flame of the 19th dynasty, I claim the honor more than 3,000 years ago of having completed this second pylon you are about to pass. At its foot, I placed the stela telling of the victory of Kamoses over the Hyksos from the east. The two of my images watched over the gate of the sanctuary. Only the southern statue has remained intact, but it is enough to keep alive the memory of my august reign. For 67 years, I wore the double crown of Upper and Lower Egypt. 3 royal queens shared my bed. The third was the daughter of the Hittite king, the most powerful monarch of Asia Minor. You may measure the vastness of my empire, but to judge the span of my life, know that after her I married 4 of my own daughters, and that the number of my children was 92 boys and 106 girls.
I, a pharaoh of the later period, a king of the twilight, Ptolemy Euergetes II, I built this marvelous gate leading to the chambers of God. The panels are of genuine cedar of the Lebanon, lined with Asian copper. May they open to you this evening and give you access to the most secret, most impressive part of the Karnak labyrinth.
Come in.
Follow me. Come in. Hello.
Lofty and mysterious as a petrified oasis, this is the dwelling of Ammon. These are the mighty stone organ pipes of Karnak.
Let's listen a while to the confused hubbub of words that seem to seep from these walls, thick with the inscriptions of signatures and prayers. Let's dream in this forest of symbols.
No one could express our wonder better than the great French Egyptologist Champollion when he himself came here.
Imagination fails and falls lifeless at the feet of these 134 columns of the Karnak hypostyle chamber.
The columns are all inspired by the umbelliferous papyrus of the river, which brought to Egypt both its grace and its knowledge. Some of the columns are open, that is to say, their capitals are open, while others are closed, like the flowers in the bud. The hypostyle chamber was built by Seti I between the second and third pylons, and he decorated a large part of the walls and columns with reliefs. The decoration was completed by Ramses II, who used not reliefs this time, but sunken reliefs. This hypostyle chamber is the mother of all the three nave basilicas which later were inspired by his plans.
The function of this chamber is essentially both religious and imperial. The physical presence of Ammon was there in the form of a statue transported on a bark. And Pharaoh came here to regenerate his soul, since he reigned over Upper and Lower Egypt, in other words, over the universe, in his quality as son of Ammon.
Let's admire this cluster of columns, in which the architect has striven to capture the very sap of the Nile in stone. That sap that feeds the giant papyrus clumps, springing from the rich silt, swarming with birds and reptiles. The Nile, so like the Egyptian language, with its poetic vitality flowering even beyond the boundaries of death.
It is dawn, and we can imagine the daily awakening of Egypt, as if the hieroglyphics were suddenly to shake themselves from slumber.
In the depths of the sanctuary, Ammon the god, the creator, is present in the form of his statue. There is the ceremonial for the opening of his mouth, for the mouth waters both men and events. There are polishings, fumigations, repeated anointings, touchings of the face with a fork of silex and an adze, blessing the hoof of an ox. All these solemn rites have literally incorporated the soul of Ammon in its receptacle of sculptured wood.
Pharaoh came into the divine divine presence this morning. He purified himself in the waters of the sacred lake. He will proceed to awaken the god of his retinue of priests. For the god is still sleeping, as every night, in his tabernacle that is sealed every evening.
Awake, Karnak, queen of the dwellings of the gods and goddesses that inhabit her. Awake, gods and goddesses, to the beauty of this new day. Awake in peace, Ammon, Lord of Karnak.
The bond is broken, the seal unsealed. The twin gates of heaven are opening. The twin gates of the earth are swinging wide.
Hail to thee, Ammon, Lord of Thebes, Lord of Lords, Master of Terror, and King of Ka.
Ammon, King of heaven, Creator of the stars.
Thou hast thrown open the horizons and brought all the gods into being.
I worship thee, Ammon.
All of thy mother, Creator of multitudes, King of the gods, Sovereign of the tall blooms, thou, the great hawk.
Thou givest the breath of life to all things, and instillest joy to the hearts of men.
O Ammon, give me strength and joy. I bear thee 3 bondos as an offering, O Lord, that, clad in all thy glory, thou mayest keep watch until the night, and give health and strength to thy son, the Pharaoh, king of the south and north, chief of all thy living creatures, forever.
Here is the white bondo.
That the light which is thy look may shine.
Here is the green bondo.
That the life-giving waters may bring flowers and make green the earth.
Here is the red bondo.
That the earth may be fertile and the blood strong.
That the earth may be fertile and the blood strong.
The Pharaoh's invitations are done. The ceremony will continue all day long around the awakened statue, with the assistance of a host of priests.
God will be nourished with incense and libations. The remains of the offerings of meat and wine will naturally serve to feed the priests. After the noon libations, God will be entertained with paints, oils, perfumes, and jewels.
And in the evening, after a further purification, the statue will return to its tabernacle, sheltered behind a fresh clay seal applied to the gates.
Now, God is resting. We must leave the sanctuary. The sun has vanished behind the Theban mountains. Ammon has vanished into the night with the sun, embarking once more upon that dark voyage that is the foretaste of death.
oui.
Stand behind it, please. Stand behind it, please.
Okay, stop breathing. Stop breathing. Come on. Come on. Finish here. Come, okay?
We could still move through the heaped ruins without reaching the heart of the mystery. Pylons, obelisks, vestibules, chambers, colonnades, dynasty after dynasty enlarged and developed the labyrinth of night. Here we must evoke the most ancient pharaohs, like Tutmosis I, Tutmosis III, Amenophis III. But the history of reigns and events seems so insignificant compared to the imperishable testimony of faith. Men are so made that they remember better the invisible than the real.
2,000 years of royal annals, festivals, mourning, battles, love stories, intrigues, expeditions, mingle here like the myriad leaves of a tree. The god Ammon is the tree, and each pharaoh has merely written his name on the leaves.
Here, in a recess of this courtyard, archaeologists brought to light one of their finest discoveries, referred to as the Karnak hiding place. From time to time, to make way for new offerings, the old ones had to be removed. And here, in a single communal grave, a pile of treasure was found. 779 statues of stone, and 17,000 of bronze. Not to mention the wooden ones that had not withstood the onslaught of time. Kings, queens, priests, dignitaries, standing, sitting, or kneeling, in black or rose granite, in alabaster or marble, all thrown in pell-mell, and among them, the sublime statue of the great builder Tutmosis III gives us an idea of the prodigious opulence of Karnak.
Our journey to the heart of the night will now take us under the stars.
Faced with the powerful mystery of Ammon and the amazing network of the god's defenses, we feel insignificant, exiled as a mere mortal at the gates of the tomb.
The mortal came to the gates with all his poor life possessed. His black shadow that followed him upon the plaster of the walls, upon the soil of the fields, and the surface of the water. And a strange winged creature, perhaps his soul, sang in his heart.
It is time to climb to the high terrace, to see Thebes slumbering beside her father, the Nile.
Perhaps the open sky will make things clearer to us.
How are you? Fine, Okay, okay. اطلع حق كوكني Okay.
Friend, quickly. Quickly, friend. Quickly, friend.
Perspectives and detours to which only priests and pharaoh had access.
The Egyptian is at ease in the circumvolutions of the divine. He was at home with the science of the beyond. He has a taste for science thinking, secret gratitude, concealed treasure, the transference
Come on, you can do it. Come on. Come on, one more. Come on, one more, please. Oh,
You did it. Where you gone this place, alright?
No.
This is nice.
Go outside. Okay?
Thank you.
If you could follow us.
very helpful.
Good?
Very good.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Oh, these are nice.
After finish, look. Okay, after finish, stand and light. Look.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
This sacred lake, on the banks of which you have come to dream, for one can only understand by dreaming, this mirror set in the rock has reflected the finest firework display of antiquity.
A dazzling gleam that has lasted 20 centuries. As soon as one cluster of stars faded, another pharaoh fired another salvo. And this will be named forever, the splendor of Thebes.
For the light that faded to the north at the foot of the pyramids arose again, here upon the Acropolis of the high valley over which Ammon was to reign. And Thebes reconquered Egypt, imposed the force of her arms over the surrounding country, founded merchant exchanges, cemented alliances, and brought to the feet of Ammon the tribute of all the glorious, submissive cities, Byblos, Nineveh, and Babylon.
It has been said that Thebes was the first city, the city of cities. Homer named it the city of 100 gates. For 100 trumpets sounded its fame.
And what did the archaeologist Champollion say?
Thebes is the greatest word in any language.
She spread along the banks of the Nile, a rich capital city, along the horizon of the east bank as far as your eyes can see, enveloping Luxor upstream, and touching the periphery of Karnak downstream with the fronds of her palm trees. Karnak, the obscure, the mysterious, from which she drew the leaven of her power. 100 trumpets shrill thy name in grief and echo thy beauty.
That's exactly how it works, you know?
Here, along the Nile, crowded thy palaces, thy public buildings, thy embassies, the villas of thy ministers.
Only the gods have endured. The houses of men, built of fragile clay have left no trace, have faded like a mirage.
And yet they were pleasant houses. Their floors painted with the lotus flower, their walls with frescoes of flights of wild duck, their wooden galleries, their trellises, their arbors, and their maidens clad in transparent garments.
The cases of papyrus scrolls tell us the titles of the poems that trembled on the maiden's lips.
The lover's sycamore.
Lovers bathing, waiting for her love.
Only the cases have come down to us. The papyrus scrolls they contained have reverted to dead leaves. This verse that was found hardly stirs an echo in our memories.
Your love is in my heart like the reed in the arms of the wind.
And the fragile, iridescent image we have of Thebes is the one that the dead have taken with them to the depths of their tombs.
Look now over the river to the west bank, where the sun sets every evening behind the Valley of the Kings.
It is the shore of the dead, the beginning of the beyond.
If some lights are still shining in the necropolis, it means that the embalmers are late at their work.
Their patron is Anubis, the somber god who prowls like a black dog around the cemeteries. Their god is Osiris, who knows all the secrets of the resurrection and watches 70 nights over the mummification workshops and the endless swaths of wrappings.
When the wind blows from the west, the scent of herbs drifts across the water, and a bitter sweetness wreathes about you like the perfume of crushed myrrh.
It was there, in front of you, that the pharaohs, mingling with their people, undertook the laborious journey to eternity. It is there that the Egyptologists found them.
Perhaps they did not quite succeed in conquering death. But isn't it amazing enough that today we can gaze upon the thoughtful parchment faces of the great rulers of Thebes in the depths of their sarcophagi? The faces of Tutmosis III, Ramses the Great, Merenptah, still recognizable after 30 centuries of sleep. The first arrivals in the tomb from the other bank long contemplated the great construction site of Karnak, ceaselessly humming with the activity of their successors.
This is the grand archaeological site where they all brought their stone and their prayers. For this divine city of Karnak, a ceaselessly growing collective work, ceaselessly improved, ceaselessly reshaped, is much more than just a temple. The pharaoh drew from it his legitimacy, his crown, and his energy. He brought to it his homage and his victories. He came to it to seek renewal and strength in his disappointments, to seek comfort and draw the sap of it into his soul. He was a mere leaf on the tree, a tree that plunged its powerful roots through the blocks of stone. We can still almost feel it quivering.
We shall only dwell on that instant when the lights seem to flicker, when the torch of Ammon seems to be going out.
We are at the turning point of the 18th and 19th dynasties, more than 3,000 years ago. Before it, every Tutmosis and Amenophis. After it, every Seti and Ramesses. Now, we are at the moment of unbelievable sacrilege and revolution. Amenophis IV changes his name, his god, and his capital.
Above all glories, he set love supreme. And his beloved wife, Nefertiti, shared his dream of a new faith and a new city.
Ammon no longer existed. Even his name was effaced from the monuments. The new god was called Aton.
One God, the Son, love. The heretical pharaoh took the name of Akhenaton, devoting himself to his new worship, his poems, his prophecies, his new city of El Amarna.
And Karnak seemed to be relegated to the shadows. But the new religion lasted only as long as its inventor. The chisel, ruin, and fire all conspired to obliterate his image.
The new pharaoh was a child.
This child was to restore the ancient worship.
He rekindled 1,000 lamps at the abandoned temples of Karnak. He took the traditional name, and if his earthly life was short, since he died in his adolescence, his posthumous glory eclipses that of all the others. For his name is Tutankhamun.
His makeshift tomb was dug in the very floor of the Valley of the Kings. Over there.
It escaped the looters for 3,000 years. And in 1922, everything was there.
The sarcophagi, one inside the other. The statues, the jewels of gold, the sacred and profane furniture, the alabasters, the porcelains, that prodigious treasure that still draws the crowds, and that mask encrusted with lapis lazuli and cornelian, which stares at us from the depths of the night with the enigmatic smile of an immortal young man.
We must descend even lower than the tombs to understand the origin of this strange gleam that seems to outlive even the ruins and almost to materialize in the obelisks. Needles of stone torn from the rising sun, often inlaid with an alloy of gold and silver, they stand proudly gleaming above Luxor, above Karnak.
Let us return for a moment to the distant centuries when the world's first great queen, Hatshepsut, was inspired to dedicate 2 golden obelisks to Ammon. Listen.
Behold, I was sitting in my palace, meditating upon the being who created me, when the voice of my heart spoke, telling me to make 2 golden obelisks for him. My spirit took fire, thinking of what the men who would later see these monuments would say. They would say, "Why this mountain of gold?" But my dream was beyond my power. My 2 obelisks were not of gold, but a single stone, hard granite without a join, and the expedition to bring the stone to me took 7 months.
From the top of my pylon, I can see the largest raft ever built floating down the Nile in the time of the floods. Barks are there to guide it. Flat on its planks are 2 stones of rose granite. They are the obelisks of the Queen. It is the expedition to us one returning. Glory to Queen Hatshepsut. May she live forever.
Now the 2 obelisks have been set up. I must finish their dedication. I shall add this. Thinking of future men who will not have seen the realization of my dream of gold, I wish at least that they may be able to say this, that my mouth was excellent in the words that issued from it, and that, even in granite, I never went back on my word.
Torn from their native land, today obelisks rise in all the capitals of the modern world. In Rome, Paris, London, Istanbul, New York.
Above the vain tumult of cities, these stones stand like fingers raised for silence, preserving the tradition of ancient Egypt's meditation.
Yeah. Oh, God. I tripped over the trash can.
What you found? I said, one beer? One beer did that? No, can be.
Oh my God.
That's a dumb enough too. Oh my God, that's an alligator.
That's an alligator, look at that. I said the same thing. I said, what the hell is this?
That's an alligator eating one of our boxes. Look at the legs and the hands.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
The legs, the tail.
I gotta touch this.
So cool.
These guys are something else. That's an alligator. That's an alligator. Oh my God. Oh. Oh.
Oh, God.
Oh, these guys. Look at